see how it goes from there. We might have some more questions as you're speaking, and then we'll just.
I'm also in the
go for it. Let's just get him
on the
as well.
tennis after level 2.
Or we can just stop here. So, yeah, that's definitely recording. It's got red dots. Have you ever had an experience where you've encountered discrepancy during your coaching due to your gender? Or have you known of someone or a female coach who's...
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. No, I'm not going to most of the time because I'm white and I'm male, so that puts me in a really comfortable place. I think I have a slightly different view on sort of the sex differences. I spent a lot of my professional coaching career in America, and for me, there's a far greater respect for coaches at all age groups, at all levels, and both sexes. So, like I said, the majority of my professional coaching career has been there. I think so in that sense, I really haven't seen any discrepancy at all. The one area that I've had to maybe put a little bit more work into is working with female Pacific Islanders. So I've coached a lot of Pacific Island teams. There's a large Pacific Island population in the Bay Area.
Do you mean coaching females or coaching alongside females?
No, coaching actual female athletes from the Pacific Islands, and that having done reflection and done some work with other coaches in that area, it was more of a cultural clash than anything else. And once I addressed that, we were actually okay. But in all, no, I really have. I've been incredibly fortunate not to come across anything.
Have you had any experience?
I would say from hearing from others that before 2012, when any females were on any courses, if they did bother doing boxing to become a coach, they weren't really focused on. It was only after that it's actually increased because there's an incentive now. They're not just pointlessly training to box. They can actually qualify for the Olympics, so there's actually a goal there. So now coaches actually feel like there's some work for them. They're not just wasting their time.
How would you improve gender inequality in coaching? So how would you, if you were to come across females being treated differently and everything, how would you go about including them and making them feel like they can coach as well?
Again, like I said, honestly, I spent 7 years coaching the States. Some of the greatest coaches that I've ever come across are female. So Tara Van Devere is a classic example at Stanford. I coached at Stanford University. She was a huge mentor of mine. She's been there for 22 years. She's won 3 national championships. She's produced, I couldn't tell you how many All-Americans, and she coached the '96 US Olympic basketball team. So when you have female role models like that across America, across different types of sports, I think it does make life an awful lot easier. That sort of ties in, I think, with the expectation that's in the States that they have in that. I was never called Griff. I was always coach. So the perception of how you were spoken to, how you were perceived, again at every level up. I'm talking from junior high to varsity high school into collegiate and beyond. The coach is, and I use the term quite specifically, revered, and that may or may not be a good thing. But if you look at Friday Night Lights, for instance, that's definitely not a good thing. But that idea of coach sits in a very, very, very powerful position sociologically within the community, and also that also might be only in the local community, but sort of beyond that. I think here in Britain, my experience here in the UK is just that I've never come across a female coach. Certainly within the rugby area, until I came back from the States a couple of years ago, and I came across Giselle Marr down in London Irish, who's the only level 4 female rugby coach in Britain, and she's an exceptionally qualified coach and a high quality coach. But the last thing I'd say on that is because I do a lot of work with female athletes, and what I have noticed there, the sort of the females I've seen coaching female rugby players are not strong, powerful, independent women, and I think they do themselves a disservice. They are women who have been put into that position often through reticence as opposed to anything else. So I don't know if they're a great window into what great female coaches could be. I think there's a social issue around that. We can talk about sort of the whole lesbian and all that sort of that sort of things. But certainly from a rugby perspective, there aren't a lot of female coaches. And those that I have witnessed, particularly in the female game, I don't think are a great representation of certainly the. As I say, I come back to that phrase, sort of powerful, independent, knowledgeable, high-quality coaches that I've come across in the States.
So you're saying the lady that you mentioned, which is a level 4, is the best female coach that you've ever met, apart from that?
No, she's the best female rugby coach. She's not the best female coach.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. Not by a long way. No, like I said, at somewhere like Stanford, there were 4 or 5 female coaches who were world class, and they were unbelievable. And equally, just coming across, just working across the States, you come across these legends, John Wooden-esque type characters who are true role models for aspiring female coaches, and I think that for me is the big difference over there. Is these are high profile, in your face, in the media, on TV, highly successful women that offer an opportunity, an aspiration, a pathway for young women coming through. So it's certainly, again, like in the States, my experience is that there really isn't an issue around that. So,
going on with these questions, you mentioned there's 4 or 5 female coaches, but when you were coaching in Stanford, how many coaches were there and how many coaches were female? Like the ratio? 34 varsity teams. Half of those teams are female teams, and I'd say 2/3 to 3/4 of those would be coached by women. Okay.
What do you think the difference is between America and Canada? As you said, I met a lot of high-level female coaching in America. In the UK, I've only met one high-level rugby player. What do you think the difference is in the two female coaches?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just simply, for me, it simply comes down to the fact that you have these incredibly successful, knowledgeable, powerful, independent women who are very, very good at what they're doing, and they're known publicly. And that corresponds with the fact that coaches in America are held in incredibly high esteem. So sort of combine that and just the constant, well, we're in March Madness at the moment, so Stanford women, for instance, have gone into the Final Four again. So what you're seeing Tara Vanderveer on TV, in the media, etc., all the time. So it's normal to see successful women doing their thing on TV. It's not really a huge exception at all. So I think that's a huge big thing. It's just that that aspirational path is set simply by the fact that they get a lot of media attention, and the role of the coach is held in such high esteem.
So how would you improve gender inequality in coaching?
I'm not too sure how it would work in boxing, such I can only really recommend like promotion and things like that. But because in the 3 years that I've been doing boxing, I've never come across a female coach myself who works differently. But I mean, I've seen 1 or 2 at shows that I've been to, and that's over a span of 3 years. I'd say that it's probably down to like the kind of power struggle in a boxing environment, because as a female coach to go in there, they are dealing with probably 1 or 2 females out of 50 plus male boxers. what male boxer really, if we're looking from a sociological point of view, would say, yeah, I want that female coach over there. I mean, they do look up to their fathers. Why would they want a female to teach them how to fight as such when it is a masculine dominated sport? I mean, I would feel comfortable being a female coach, but like, I would feel like I need to do years and years of becoming like a world title holder or like 7 times national champion to be able to gain that kind of respect from the men to actually want to be taught by me. So I think it is just one of those things, like the promotion thing, because even the likes of like Katie Taylor and Nicola Adams have done really well, they're not even becoming coaches. So then us females are looking and thinking, yeah, we'll just carry on boxing because that's how they get their success. There are champion female boxers that have just become promoters and TV talk personalities, and they're doing well, they're happy. So I don't see why any female boxers would really look and be like, yeah, I'll be a coach. Doesn't seem as fun, really.
What barriers do female coaches face at amateur, regional and elite levels in sport in general or in your sport?
The answer to that for me is the fact it goes back to your first question. I'm white and I'm male. It's a white male dominated. I think that's what coaching is, certainly here in the UK. So in that sense, the way I'd be looking to counter that is much. Sorry, what's your name? Ravina, right. What Ravina was saying with regards to boxing, for me that just screams no role models. If there's no role model, no one's looking up to it. If there's no role model, there isn't going to be any path, because ultimately it's a path of where we really don't know. So it's about putting role models in place. It's about ensuring that that path becomes clear and then is given equal weighting. It comes down to ability and sex, etc. And just removing a lot of the standard stereotypes and bigotries that a lot of people have in terms of xenophobia, racism, homophobia, etc. Like that, and see beyond and look for the qualities. And I think that's one of the things that I don't think people have, certainly within sports generally, have tried to identify the qualities required to be a good coach. Are A, B, and C. So let's actually qualify people in against those sets of principles or that set of criteria, and then after that we can look at seeing whether or not it's appropriate to have males or females in place, because it may or may not be. I don't know. I can't speak for every sport out there, but there may be situations and times where sex does come into it. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I doubt there is, but there may very well be. But then we can start to actually qualify it and have that conversation down across, as I said, it could be age group, sex, sexual orientation, all those sort of things become secondary. At the moment, they're not secondary, they're all the things people think about first. And then we haven't even addressed the actual coaching qualities people need and require to actually be successful. So what we do is whoever goes, a female typically into those positions, it's actually quite hard to be successful because they've not been set up to be successful. So the criteria that's put them in there is often incorrect. So I think it's about setting those systems up in place and ensuring that we can put 1 or 2 people through to give other young women an opportunity to aspire.
So you're saying that when a job vacancy comes out, for example, and a female and a male coach apply for it, they look at sex before they look at how good they are as a coach?
I can't say that for definite, but I would imagine, if you think from just standard sociological terms or how society works, I should say, if I'm in a boxing world, I'm probably going to look for a male before I look for a female, because it's a testosterone-fueled. Our perception is it's a testosterone-fueled, male-dominated area. But actually, to be a good coach in that environment, you've got to have great emotional intelligence. You've got to understand the skill acquisition tools. You've got to understand motivation, physiology, biomechanics. A female, if you go on the emotional intelligence side of things, is going to be far superior to most males. So actually classifying that through through the standard coaching qualities that we actually want in a coach to put in that position should be primary. So removing things like name, like sex, and any giveaways on applications is actually key, and that's something that they have, for instance, in the States, is they'll have a number of the application processes that I've been privy to in the States doesn't include any of that information. So you go needs blind into those. So you actually look at the qualities, not who they are, where they're from, what background, what school, how rich or how poor, etc. they are.
So just focus on your coaching. Okay, so what barriers, sorry, I forgot where we were going. What barriers do you think female coaches face at every level of sport?
Yeah, I'd say that was the main point that just touched on.
Okay. Do you think female coaches are underrepresented in sports?
Yeah, because I'm sure that there are a lot more than I know of in my sport, but they're just not publicised, or maybe they've not got successful athletes below them to kind of shine in the media for us to say,
do you think female coaches are also underrepresented?
Well, females represent 51% of the world's population. Of course they are. So, you know, yes. If we're looking for equal opportunities, then it should be 51% of the women out there should be coaching, and they're not. So, without question, they are. And they're underrepresented because most young women don't want to participate in school. In sport in school. If you don't participate in sport in school, the chances of you participating later on are going to be vastly reduced. So again, for me, it's about pathways to aspiration, and if more girls aspire to be Jess Ennis, I think we'd be in a better place.
How are female coaches incorporated in your national governing body, or how are they neglected by the national governing body in your sport?
And doing the same course at the time. So when they're doing that, they're doing the same.
Like, are there any ways where in your national governing body that is specifically for females, or is there any programs, strategies, anything?
Yeah, there is a women's development team, and they get female boxers on a weekly basis to do like a Sunday squad session together. But that's quite new. We're only just starting to put together like one show where it's called like an all-female championship. So that's pretty new. That's only just coming into place, which I would say is quite late considering. But I think it's just going to be like a time frame. Like it will get there, but it won't be anything. So they are trying, but still underdeveloped.
Yeah, well, there's obviously a huge women's rugby drive at the moment, and Rio is a target for women's sevens, so that's a huge plus to the women's game. But from a coaching perspective, there's not a women only focus within the RFU. So certainly from a player perspective, there is.
Well, thank you very much. You'll now move over there and then we'll just go around. Thank you.
There you go.
Are you recording all of that?